Okay, good morning, welcome everybody. Sorry for the late start here. It's been a bit of a mess. But I'm here, I'm back. I don't know why chat looks like that. Wonder if I can fix that. Here, hold on. Okay, well, that looks funky, but it's whatever. Welcome though. We are still in Kanto, as you can see, because we have a little bit of unfinished business left. A lot of Pokemon yet to evolve. So I haven't even opened this since I ended, but it looks like, yeah, we have the 2 Rhyhorns, 2 Rhydons, and we got a Jinx and a Fossil to evolve, so let's get to it. How is everybody doing? It's been a little bit. Oh, you're stuck in the rain, Gucci? Sorry to hear that. That wasn't shiny. Everybody knows what a shiny Sentret looks like, right? See if I can kill this thing. Ooh, that was a crit. Yeah, gorgeous. You're hitting the nail on the head, aren't you? Yeah. Everybody knows the bank shutdown has been announced, which is pretty relevant for something like this, where the goal is to get everything from the original games and transfer them up. Also, I don't even think I have EXP share on anything, so that was kind of pointless. Yeah, we have an official deadline. So, okay, let me address that first and foremost. I'm not finishing Gens 2 through 7 before February. I'm just not. It's humanly possible, but it is not possible for me to do so. Especially at the pace that I've been going. And so that is very disappointing that I won't be able to finish everything before the official cutoff. But rest assured, I'm fairly confident that even if Bank does shut down, that does not mean that I will not be able to transfer these guys up. I think there are ways of circumventing that whole thing. So not all hope is lost. But, I mean, just hear me out when I say I thought about it for maybe like a week straight. I was like, you know, can I really fit everything in or not? I went back and forth, and yeah, I've come to the conclusion I just can't do it. I would have to quit my day job, and I would have to spend hours upon hours upon hours streaming constantly. And even then, I don't know if it would be enough, especially when it comes to really tough RNG situations like Gen 6. Gen 6 is going to take a long time. The RNG is very hard, very difficult to execute there, much harder than perhaps anything we've done in Fire Red and Leaf Green so far. So yeah, I just can't do it. I've come to that conclusion. I've made my peace with that. But again, even with the official transfer method cut off, there will be ways. There will be ways to get past it. So don't you worry. We're still going to be able to complete this challenge. We're still going to proceed. It's just going to be a little bit sketchier when it comes to transfer process. Even though it is a little disappointing. But the good news is, I'm still going to transfer some Pokemon the official way via bank. As you can see, Kanto is basically finished once I evolve everything. And I'm also pretty confident that I'll be able to finish Hoenn before the shutdown as well. God damn it. I hate this Slowbro. So, for at least 2 generations, I'll be able to transfer both of those up. No issue. Am I going to address the Taylor Farms contamination fiasco? I will refer to my legal team for any further comments on the alleged contaminated lettuce. You will have to go through my lawyer. All right. Settle down, Gucci. It's too early for this. Charizard's getting beat to hell. Have I considered winning the Mega Millions? Absolutely, I've considered it. If that were to happen, maybe I could dedicate the entire next 6 months to finishing all the DS games before the shutdown. Maybe then it would be feasible. Only in that universe would it be possible. But we don't live in that universe. Surely not. No, I could never ask you to donate your winnings like that. No, it's not that deep. It can't be that deep. Honestly, I think that we ought to savor this whole thing anyway, you know? Like, the only reason I was ever in a rush at all is because I knew the shutdown was looming. But now that I am 100% certain it's happening, and I'm not going to finish before the shutdown. Now, I don't really need to, like, rush. I don't need to be super... Well, I'm still going to try to be efficient with everything, but I don't need to be in a rush going through this challenge. So maybe that means I can savor it a little bit more. I can enjoy these games, play them as games rather than just obstacles to get through for each encounter. That's not the worst idea. Plus, once this challenge is over, what will you all watch, you know? We want this to go on. We want the entertainment to keep going. Presuming that you are entertained by this. I'm out of mints. Yeah, I think there is some peace of mind that comes from having a concrete deadline now, instead of just like, oh, it's going to happen any day. You know, they could pull the plug. So, at the very least, it gives me a little bit of peace. Knowing. Okay. I guess I need to figure out what to do about this Slowbro. What is that noise? Something's going on. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, you didn't. Never mind. This Slowbro is the bane of my existence. What level do I have to get both these Rhyhorns? It's considerable, I think. Good morning, CJ. Ooh. Crit slash. Rhyhorn 42. Yikes. Zoinks. Yeah, so that's 2 Rhyhorn, getting them to 42, and then Jinx is 30. The fossils are 40. That's lovely as well. This is going to take a minute, isn't it? It's going to be a little bit. Hopefully my starters that I'm using will level up and get good, so these battles don't take as long. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Gucci, is that Smoochum was a friendship evolution. But apparently it's not. Going back to the transfer situation for a moment, though, so as I was saying, there are going to be ways to get the Pokemon up to home without bank. And while I haven't 100% figured that out, exactly how that works, I do know it will theoretically work. Certainly everything that is compatible with Sword and Shield, any Pokemon that can go into Sword and Shield, automatically there's going to be no issue getting it up to home. Anything outside of the Galar Dex, though, it's going to be trickier, but still feasible. I think there's still going to be ways to do it. My plan, as of right now, I basically have 2 plans. Plan A is I'm going to transfer an entire living dex up to home. That is not, you know, this challenge's living dex. It's just a bunch of random Pokemon that I will acquire via varying means. I don't need to go into the specifics of how I will acquire a full living dex to then transfer into home. But anyway, I will then use that living dex. I will use some of the information to translate to the eventual Pokemon I will send up there. And hopefully that will smooth over the process. And if for whatever reason that doesn't work, or I don't need to do that, plan B is just transferring everything up anyway and filling in some gaps. Again, in which there are ways to do so that I feel confident about. So unless Game Freak makes any significant changes to home or how Pokemon are tracked in home, I think I still feel pretty good about it. Are there any goals before the shutdown? There are technically things I have to do before bank shuts down, actually. There are certain things I can't circumvent, and that's 3 Pokemon. I must transfer Spinda up to home before bank shuts down. That is a must. I have to do that. I also need to transfer Alolan Rattata and Alolan Raticate. So I have to transfer those 3 Pokemon. They're normal and they're shiny versions, so technically 6 Pokemon. If I don't transfer those 6 Pokemon prior to the shutdown, I am in trouble. I will not be able to get them. So, but yeah, other than those 6 Pokemon, the normal and the shiny Spinda and Alolan Rattata line, everything else I can delay. I was thinking about, because the virtual console is going to be tough to with Poke-Transporter, that might be an additional hurdle. So I was thinking about maybe hunting the shiny Celebi before bank shuts down as well, which would be a full odds, just straight up resetting hunt in the Virtual Console. So those are the things that I must do / I'm considering prioritizing before the official shutdown. Is the Queen going up? I will definitely be sending the Queen up. I'll still have a copy of her in the original file anyway, but yeah, the Queen will definitely be reaching home before the shutdown. I don't know if the Queen will be my entry into the Dex. I might have a different one in mind there. I like the 8/8s, the most symmetrical pattern. I like that one a lot. So I may use the normal and shiny versions of that to include in the Olaf Dex, but good morning, Utah. It's great to have you back. So yeah, basically all of that to say, I will have to start my Alolan playthrough early, and I will probably only play the very start of the game, so I can get the Alolan Rattata line, and I need to make sure Spinda's transferred. I will probably have Hoenn completed before the shutdown anyway, but I just need to make sure, for whatever reason, if I don't have everything transferred up by then, Spinda needs to be up there. And then maybe hunt Virtual Console Shiny Celebi, and then we'll be just fine at that point. Oh, I probably should have transferred there. Like a Blastus. I don't know what you're getting at, Gucci. Yeah, it's been a stressful time. Like the whole week after the shutdown was announced, I was like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Because again, at that time, I was still thinking like, okay, is it even humanly possible for me to fit everything in before the shutdown? But now I've made peace with the fact that no, it is not possible. I cannot do it. And I'm fine with that. Well, good for them. Really happy for everyone that understands what you're saying. Yes, we are heavily reliant on the modding community. Again, based on my understanding, I'm not going to necessarily go into details because I don't want anyone at Game Freak or I don't want that to be like emphasized too much, because what if, you know, they try to block this possibility. But I think that even without like additional tools that are created, with just a modded switch and PK Hex, I think I can do it. I'm fairly confident that it's possible. Does that change what's playing next? Not big picture wise, no. All it means is that, so I don't know if you heard me say this, but there are 6 Pokemon that must be transferred prior to the bank shutdown. Only 6, which is Spinda and Shiny Spinda, Alolan Rattata, shiny Alolan Rattata, Alolan Raticate, shiny Alolan Raticate. Those are the only ones that must be transferred before bank is shut down. Otherwise, everything else, there will be a solution, presumably, to get them up there. Which means, basically, that I will be starting an Alolan playthrough early, and I will probably not do all of Alola in one go. I'll just probably start it just to get the Alolan Raticates, and after that, I'll go back to the present generation. Oh, really, Charizard? What's the issue with the rat? There is no Gen 8 on game where you can get Alolan Rattata. You can get Alolan Rattata in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but if we are thinking about transferring these guys up in the future without bank, there needs to be a vector game for you to do that. There needs to be a game where you can transfer the Pokemon from Gen 7 to a Switch game, which can then be taken to home. And the only Pokemon that don't have that vector are the Alolan Rattata line and Spinda, because even though Spinda's in BDSP, it can't be transferred out of BDSP. And yeah, Pokemon Go doesn't count either, because that's a whole other thing. Yeah, so Rebel, what I'm saying is I can get everything in their original games and transfer them up with alternative methods, with the exception of Spinda and Alolan Rattata line. Those are the only 6 Pokemon I must transfer prior to bank. Otherwise, there are ways to get around it. Yeah, all the other Alolan forms exist in other Switch games, so there is no issue getting them up in the future. Oh yeah, I'm sure it takes forever to get all the shinies transferred from Go because of that transfer limit. What is it, like a few a week? I know I have so many shinies in there, it would take me probably over a year to get my shinies transferred. Yeah, it is crazy, and again, because of the way Let's Go works, it is not a game that I could use to get Alolan Rattata up in the future, so it's all screwed. You have over 2,000 mons? Jesus. I mean, that's not, I guess, super crazy. Shinies are pretty widely available in Go, depending on which ones you're talking about. You're curious, Rebel? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll disseminate a little bit how that works, but I don't know. I want to be cautious about it for now. Oh, congratulations. Finishing the Vivians is very impressive. Right, yeah, the shiny legendaries, it's 1 per week, right? Something crazy. So the takeaway here with all of this is that, yes, bank is shutting down. Yes, that is a hiccup in my plans for this challenge, but the challenge will continue either way, and I will still reach my end goal. I will make it happen. By whatever means necessary. Short of committing homicide. Yeah, Utah, Just Bank is shutting down, so it doesn't affect anything Gen 8 on, including Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is not affected. Pokemon Go is its own thing with all of this. Not even really affiliated with the main series at all. Oh, don't want to do that. Rebel, you're saying I should do those RNGs before the shutdown, you mean? Like, prioritize those? Yes, get to your chores, Utah. As you do. Oh, that does a lot more than I thought it would. Ooh! Lived on one. I did already do Kahlo pretty early, yeah. Thankfully. That's not even a part of what I'm doing with this. Exactly. Charizard shed a single tear, or whatever the message is in the later games. What's funny about Kahlo right now is my Coliseum videos getting some extra attention in the past few weeks. I think because a lot of people now are scrambling to get Ribbon Masters done, and they want to start in the Ore games for the National Ribbon, you know, to get the most ribbons possible. So there's a lot, an increase in interest in all things Kahlo right now, it seems like. At least for those who are willing to, for the next 6 months, complete a Ribbon Master from Gen 3. To get ramped up on Kahlo RNG. Well, I don't know exactly what you mean, but if by ramped up you mean just like getting familiar with it, I wouldn't say it's too hard. It's very dependent on the specific Pokemon you want. There are some Pokemon in Kahlo that are very easy to get, and there are some that are a lot trickier. Even since I made my video on it, there have been newer methods and tools created so that some of them that I struggled with, or ones that I really had to deal with a lot of randomness, that's no longer the case. There are still some, though, that are that way, that are unavoidable. I believe Yanma is still very, very tricky, very inconsistent. And there's a few others, but a lot of the ones that I really had to just like hope and pray I got hundreds of tries per one, those now have better methods. Oh yeah, the nerve of Hurguchi, I agree. Share the road. Yes, Raikou is still hard, but it is doable. What the thing with Raikou is... Oh, damn it. I should have used Aerial Ace. The thing with Raikou is, do you want a Raikou with particular stats, or do you just want a shiny Raikou? If you just want a shiny Raikou, then it's fine. It's tough, but it's totally fine to do. But if you want a Shiny Raikou with a particular stat spread or IV spread, that will take you a significant amount of time. Yeah, there are a lot of Pokemon that we're going to be missing out on in the future. They're going to be legacy transfers. End's Pokemon would be an example. I certainly don't have time to try to get everything that might be interesting for later. Again, you know, I'm thinking that it'll probably be possible to transfer them up anyway, but through official channels, I just don't have time. You're thinking about getting into ROM hacks? That sounds fun. Or are you talking about like making your own ROM hack, Gucci? That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Utah. So Bank is the bridge between everything Gen 7 and below and the modern games with Home. You also can't transfer Pokemon between Gens 5 and 6 and 6 and 7 without Bank as well. So there's a few bottlenecks up there, which is unfortunate. That will be the easiest problem to solve, I think, with modded tools. I think people will be able to recreate a version of Bank on Homebrew where you can make those transfers. The problem is, though, transferring things from Gen 7 to Bank, or not to Bank, to Home, because of the way Home tracks transfers. I think it's possible. I think you can do it. You just can't do it easily or seamlessly. Yeah, you should make it, Gucci. That's what I was thinking, Rebel, is I will 100% complete Gen 3. The question is, will I be able to complete Gens 2, 4, 5? I think is pushing it. I think, especially with the additional playthroughs I'll need to do for Gen 5, for the Genie specifically, I think that's going to be a tough ask to finish Gen 5 prior to February. Yeah, fake bank, whatever that looks like, there will be no issue using that within the 3DS. It's just bridging the gap between the 3DS and the Switch. Because Pokemon Home has a live server that is maintained, and it tracks certain information. So you have to circumvent that to get anything up. And I just don't know if there's going to be a comprehensive tool that will allow you to do that. You're going to have to manually go through individual games and modify certain things to make that work. Yeah, that's the thing, Caddy, is I think Gen 5 is going to be perfectly doable. It's just there's so many Pokemon to get. I just don't know if I have time. I wasn't even thinking, as I was kind of like planning this out, I don't even know if I can finish Gen 2 and 4 before the shutdown either. I definitely could. It's possible. But I'm not sure, especially with all the playthroughs of Emerald I have to do for Gen 3. It's kind of gonna get drawn out a little bit. But I do think that I will probably just play through Emerald once on stream, and then for the rest of the playthroughs I'll do it off stream and just save the Deoxys encounters or whatever encounters I need to get to be the most efficient about it. Yes, you're correct. I do need Japanese Black 2 or White 2. Only just for the Genesect event. That's the only reason. Similar to how I need Japanese Emerald for the Mew event. Although, with the RSC re-releases on the Switch coming, if that has a Mew event, I may just use that one instead. Because then I can get it in English, which is something that it has going for it. And if I'm getting the Virtual Console Celebi for my Johto decks, then, I mean, it's not totally out of place to get the Mew from the Virtual Console. It's not even a Virtual Console, but you know what I mean. For the Mew slot. Oh, great. Fantastic. Yeah, everything pre-Gen 8 is going to be prioritized this next few months, or 6 months. Yeah, Gucci, I mean, I'm a big fan of having the universal EXP share as well. My issue with it is that you can't turn it off, you know, because if you want experience to be limited or distributed to one Pokemon in particular, you don't have the option, and that's the frustrating thing. But yeah, just having it at all is a good thing, I think. All right, we are getting there, and as my starters get higher level, that will also smooth things over a bit. Nice, Blastoise. Yeah, when you think about these things for too long, yeah, it's a little weird. Ooh, nice crit, Charizard. Yeah, the only reason I'm farming these two is because they're directly next to the house that heals you. So it minimizes the need to travel around. Especially if I'm trying to avoid getting into many unnecessary wild encounters. Where is the Chansey trainer? Is it, are they close by? I think I remember fighting them before, but it's been a minute. Just north. Yeah, if she just has one Chansey, I don't know if it'd be worth it, but if she has like a bunch of Pokemon that also have decent EXP yields, then might be worth considering. I am getting Jirachi. I'm gonna get the bonus disc version. Excuse me. Bonus disc version. Ooh, that it puts you in the wrong range for things. Damn it. This Slowbro is the true bane of my existence. You're right, Gucci. You're better than that. It's child's play at that point. You're of a higher caliber than that. Yeah, we're not going to get to Jirachi. I think Jirachi is going to be the final encounter for the Hoenn leg. So it's going to be a minute before we get there. But again, compared to how long Kanto took, Hoenn is going to be quite a breeze, other than playing through Emerald 8 times at minimum and 10 times, depending on what they end up doing with the Mew rewards in the future. Wait, did you? No, you didn't. Alright, we're still good. CJ, I absolutely could do that, yes. It's a good idea. I think that that's probably only going to be worth it, because the trading's the whole thing. You know, it's annoying to do that. And I'd like to keep everything in the appropriate game just to keep track of everything. But I will say that maybe for the last few evolutions, I would probably trade them over to the alternative game, speed things up a little bit. No, you're good, Liam. If you are familiar with how these games work at all in terms of the RNG process, Fire Red and Leaf Green are very different from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald in that Fire Red and Leaf Green have random initial seeds, which basically means that the PRNG algorithm that is used to generate randomness, the initial seed that starts that is different unless you are very deliberate in Fire Red and Leaf Green, whereas in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, generally it is the same every time. So you're starting from the same position. which makes things a lot more consistent and predictable. You can still get a particular initial seed in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but you have to execute a frame perfect input to do it, which basically adds a consecutive frame perfect input every time you're doing an RNG in Fire Red and Leaf Green, compared to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, where you don't need to worry about it at all. So that is the first thing. The second thing is there are some quality of life features in Hoenn that we'll make use of, mainly the battle videos in Emerald. You can save a PRG state by making a battle record, and by doing so, you can then transfer that to wherever you need it and get to certain frames, and it just makes things a lot more convenient. On top of all of that, you also have the painting situation. If you're not familiar with that, basically if you click on a contest painting in the contest hall or in the museum, whatever visual frame the game is currently on, when you click on that painting, it will use that number as the reseeding number for the PRNG. So you can basically jump to different points in the PRNG with the painting as well, and then you can combine that with battle videos to save that change. So it's actually very, very effective in changing where you want to go. So basically, you can kind of do a quick single frame perfect input on the painting to go anywhere in the PRNG you want, save it with a battle video, and then get whatever target you want. It's pretty cool. So those are the main quality of life features that make Hoenn so much better. But just by and large, not having that additional frame perfect input every time you turn the game on makes a huge difference. Yeah, we will be making some serious use of the battle videos, that is for sure. Mark my words. We'll be using the painting too, because while it's nice that the Hoenn games have the same initial seed most of the time, the only problem is I don't want to repeat using the same shiny frames. I want different ones. So we basically have to use the painting to jump to different PRNG states. So for that reason, it adds a couple extra steps for future targets, but it's still very easy to do. So I still think I'd rather be in that position than otherwise just having to execute the frame perfect initial seed every time. Yeah, the painting is pretty odd. It's kind of crazy that it works that way. And it was discovered so late. I think we haven't known about the painting thing, you know, maybe for like 4 or 5 years. That's been common knowledge. Maybe less. Excuse me. Appreciate your use of the word vestigial, Gucci. Very nice. Yeah, Rebel, I would that is definitely a debate, because I think Gen 6 is probably going to be worse. I would argue that Gen 6 is going to be the worst out of all the generations. Even outside of the generations where I mostly can't RNG manip, because there are way better shiny hunting methods in the future games. So yeah, I think Gen 6 is going to be the absolute worst in terms of difficulty and tedium. Fire Red, while it has its eccentricities, while it is tricky, I made it through just fine. You know, it was okay. There wasn't anything particularly frustrating about it, except maybe at certain points during the egg RNG, and sometimes I would just be very inconsistent with the normal manips. But I got there. Liam, very nice. Big Beldum Enjoyer. Shiny Metagross slaps. Liam, is your Rayquaza going to be with good stats as well? You going for a high IV? Yeah, Gen 6 has a small Pokédex until you think about all of the different forms of the Vivians, the Furfuros, and the... what's it called? Not Floor... The pre-evolution of Florges. Damn it! I freaking can't get this Slowbro dead, man. Yeah. We survived Egg RNG with the power of friendship. That's true. There was no other way of getting through that dark time. I do have to make a new save file for each form of Vivian, yes. And for the purposes of this challenge, I will also be considering every Scatterbug and Spupa for each pattern, also their distinct forms. You can disagree with that interpretation, but that is currently my thing. So I'm not just getting 1 or 2 Pokemon per playthrough. I'm going to get at least the full line of each, normal and shiny. But that does amount to quite a few playthroughs. Absolutely. And that's what I've heard. RNG, VGC. I've heard that eggs are the most feasible in Gen 6, or the most feasible method, so I will probably be doing a lot of breeding as best I can. When that is when there is no other alternative, I will do wild RNG, but breeding I will do a lot of, which isn't the most exciting thing, but I'll do what I can do. Yeah, I got Gucci, not Gucci, I got Chansey very quickly, relatively speaking, which I was more, that was very lucky. Because some eggs took a lot longer, and it very well could have been the Chansey egg that took longer, which would have sucked because those 40 egg cycles per egg, you felt that. Yeah, Shiny Metagross, definitely still one of the coolest shinies ever. Totally agree. Flabebe, thank you, Gucci. Yeah, Rebel, I could duplicate save files, or I could use backups and all that. I'm trying to avoid that as best I can. I'd prefer to do everything in-game and find all the information in-game, not prying into any code. It's my preference for this. Yeah, without the battle video and painting, getting a Rayquaza with good IVs, you're gonna probably be out of luck. You disagree, but respect. Okay, fair enough, Gucci. – 15 versions of functionally identical Pokemon. Functionally, they're not identical, though, because if you evolve them, they have different forms. Their forms are encoded in the Pokemon itself, so it's technically a different form, even though it doesn't appear to be a different form. Same deal with Own Tempo Rockruff. Same deal with Ash Greninja, even though it has a different in-battle form. But the Pokemon itself, it looks identical, but it has a different ability that cannot be transferred, or not. It can't be changed or transferred. So it is a different form. Also, we are very close to getting this first Rhyhorn. It's funny, we've only been working on one Pokemon today, but we're almost done. Yeah, RNG in Gen 6 requires a lot of resources. Haven't really figured out how I'm going to go about that. You're not strong enough, Caddy. I gotta be thorough about this, you know? We're not half-assing anything with the Olaf decks. No way. Liam, are you prioritizing that because of the bank shutdown? Is that one of the main reasons, or are you just doing it because you like it? Yeah, Gucci, why would I evolve them? I need the Scatterbugs and the Spupas as they are. It doesn't make sense to evolve them. So home does not make any distinction visually. Like there's no text or indicator that says this is the, you know, I don't even remember what any of the names of the Vivian Padras are, but home will not make that distinction. But it is technically a different form. Okay, so here's the funny thing about that with home, is that home will make a distinction between something like Own Tempo Rockruff and regular Rockruff. In the code of home, it like specifies which one is which. Which I think is interesting. That it will do that, and there's no distinction that can be drawn visually with that difference, but it won't do the same thing with the Scatterbugs. So I don't know, I find that a little curious, a little interesting. Yeah, Rebel, maybe for some of the entries, I will try to use the Poke Radar. Maybe it'll be worth it, maybe not. Not too sure. What do you mean you don't need female Heracross? Gucci, what's wrong with you? We absolutely need female Heracross. The Heracross line is actually very distinct in its gendered forms. You can make the argument that, like, oh yeah, something like male and female Staraptor, like there's barely a difference. It's like the hairline is different. So that's not worth getting. But like Heracross, like those horns are very different. Like I don't see an argument for skipping out on those if you're concerned about like form variations, period. Yeah, I would imagine there's maybe some increased motivation after the announcement. Okay, one more level for Rhyhorn. Then we will have one Pokemon evolved. We're only an hour in. That's not terrible, right? Well, good luck on your National Dex quest. Oh yeah, Gucci, you don't know about the Torchic situation? It's got a little dot on its butt. Just 1 pixel. In Gen 3 anyway, it's 1 pixel difference. It's a little black dot. And every iteration of Torchic, every Pokemon in the line has a gender variation. So in total there are, so you need 3 male Torchic, 3 female Torchic, 3 shiny male Torchic, 3 shiny female Torchic. So that's 12 Torchics in all that I have to get for this challenge just because of the gender variance. Alright, let's see if this is enough. Come on, Charizard! Please take this sucker out. Please. Ah, of course. Why does Fly do basically no more damage than Aerial Ace? That's my question. Why does it have a dot on its butt? Apparently that's from a real-life thing. There are certain chicks, baby chickens, that will have like little specks on them or something. I don't know. I think it was explained by Masuda or Sugimori, whoever came up with Torchic's design. They explained there's this thing with like chicks and dots on them and stuff. I don't know. It's based on a real thing. It's not like super arbitrary. You like to grind in front of the hot spring cave? That's true. You could heal at the hot spring cave. Are the levels comparable as well, Rebel? Does the trainer have Pokemon about this high level as well? Sounds fake as hell. I assure you, it's real. Hello, Shargo. Good to see you. I'm doing all right. Trying to grind some levels. They go up after the E4. Well, I will maybe check out what's going on up there. See if they're worthwhile. I only heard on the internet that this was an ideal spot to train, but it wasn't from personal experience, so let's see. Oh yeah, and a lot of fighting types. That does sound more ideal for Charizard. Meowth for pickup, I guess. I mean, I haven't really had a lot of luck with pickup so far in this run. Between having to give up a bunch of party slots for the Meowths and having to go back and forth, I think it's probably not worth it. But we'll see. Yes, Shargo, I have definitely been addressing the shutdown situation. The plan is I'm going to act as if it is not happening, with the exception of two things. One is I must capture and transfer the forms of Spinda and the Alolan Rattata line up through Bank prior to the shutdown. Those are the only ones I must transfer. Otherwise, there will be ways around it. And that is the long and short of it. I'm also considering perhaps starting the Virtual Console Shiny Celebi hunt early as well, because I don't know what Poké-Transporter, like circumventing that, what that's going to look like. So those are the only considerations. Otherwise, everything else sticking to the plan. I considered trying to fit everything pre-Gen 8 in before the shutdown, and I came to the conclusion it's not possible. I can't do it. I mean, it is possible if I quit my day job and I stream every day and I do all this stuff, then it would be possible, but I just don't think I can do it. So that's where we are. Definitely won't be able to transfer the entire living dex up to home the official way, but it will be possible, and I will do it. Yeah, pickup has been very hit or miss for me so far. That's a different story in Ruby, Sapphire, and to a certain extent Emerald, but in these games, not great. Nope. Lovely. Come on, old boy. Disappointing. Yeah, forms of Spinda means regular and shiny, not all 4 billion, or not all 8 billion. You're suggesting that I ace Celebi in Gen 3 or Gen 4? Because the plan right now is to not get it... Oh, no, sorry, you mean in the Virtual Console. I mean, the plan was always to full odds hunt it. And I, am not opposed to doing that when there's no other option, short of doing something like, modding the console. Also, I should have switched, but it's fine. Why skip Hoenn, Shargo? What's the logic there? All right, we have one evolution after an hour and 6 minutes. Yeah, pickup will definitely be used in Hoenn. But yeah, Rebel, I just, unless I was, like, really desperate and short on time, I think I'm just going to full odds hunt Celebi. There's no issue, I think. Hoenn will take longer if I complete it first. Why will it take longer? Excuse me. What does the order matter here? If I'm not going to be able to complete all of Gens 3 or 2 through 5 anyway, like the entire thing anyway, then what's the point? I guess what you mean is like having a path to transfer. In that case, I'll just use some of my old files. I have completed saves of every generation. So just for transfer purposes, I'll use those. So that's not an issue. Yeah, I don't know, Shargo. I think it's just there's no solution where I can get everything in time, and I just don't see the point in prioritizing any particular generation or set of Pokemon. Like it's just there's no point. If I can't transfer everything up before the deadline, then it really doesn't matter. I'll still find a way though. Still waiting for a random full-out shiny? Well, who knows? Oh, I see what you're saying. If Hoenn is significantly slower, then I would be able to transfer more Pokemon up before the shutdown. That's true. Very true. I just don't think Hoenn's going to take that much longer. I don't think, especially if I do the multiple Emerald playthroughs off stream and just kind of highlight the captures when they happen. Then I don't think that's necessarily going to be a 5-month long endeavor. Yeah, rest assured, I'll work around the shutdown regardless, so ultimately it doesn't matter how many I transfer pre-shutdown. it's just really nice to not have an additional headache with some of them. You love the thrill of unexpected sparkles? Well, considering I am probably going to do the Celebi hunt soonish, then that's right up your alley, it sounds like. Although it's a 1 in 8192 shiny reset hunt. Takes a long time. I may have to do a lot of those resets off stream. And, you know, maybe I'll get it live. It'll be really nice if I do, but we'll see. Using the painting will be a time sink, that's true. That will make things take a lot more time. I still think it's going to be pretty streamlined, though. Also, getting a lot of wild encounters now. I don't think it's going to be super significant, because here's the thing. Even if, like, let's say I'm trying to aim for a specific painting frame, and I miss it, I can probably still use it, especially if I'm saving each one with a battle video. I can probably still use it to get a new shiny anyway, even if it's not exactly the one I want. So I just keep hopping from painting seed to painting seed, saving it, getting the Pokemon, going to the next one. I don't think it's really going to be super intensive. It's definitely not going to be any worse than a typical just Ruby Sapphire, or not Ruby Sapphire, Fire Red Leaf Green RNG with the initial seed and everything. The Celebi hunt might be a good one for the background. Yeah, probably. I'll think about how best to do that, but yeah. It's just a straight up reset. I think I could probably work that in somewhere. There is a way to manip Shiny Jirachi, Liam. There absolutely is. It's tricky, but you can do it, and I will do it. Yeah, Shargo, I'll heed your advice. I'll consider that. If it does seem like Hoenn is being drawn out quite a bit, or if I realize that it will take upwards of 4 to 5 months, then I will consider what you're proposing. But even still, excuse me, even though Gens 2 and 4, or Johto and Sinnoh, even though they are certainly very easy to manip, I'm not convinced they'll be super fast, especially with the speed at which the Gen 4 games go. Like, they play a little slower than Gen 3. So with the multiple playthroughs, I just don't know. I'm not sure, time-wise. Exactly, Gucci. What is a wish maker for than to grant your wishes? You boot up Emerald and then you go, please, 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 please. Yeah, thankfully I don't have to truly be that desperate to wish. I have some control. You completed Unova in a week? Like with shinies too? Oh, shiny only, yeah. Yeah, with getting all the shinies and all the forms and the normal forms, yeah, definitely going to take more than a week. And considering I'm trying to do everything live, you could maybe stretch that out to, what, like a month? A month just for Unova? Oh yeah, that definitely is impressive. Yeah, if I was doing all of this casually, I could complete everything much faster. But part of the experience, part of the fun, is doing it with all of you, is documenting the whole thing. I think there's a certain value in that as well. Hey, Sergio. Welcome. Haven't heard from you in a while. I mean, I'll take your word for it, Shargo. How's it coming along? It's pretty good. I'm finished with all of Kanto, and now I'm just evolving everything. I have everything captured at least. Currently working on evolving my female Rhyhorn into Rhydon. I think it's probably best if I come down on the list to show what I'm actually leveling up here. Yeah, so we're working on the Rhydons right now. Yeah, I mean, Kanto, you know, it had its moments. But I do think it is high time we move on to brighter pastures. You swear one island is faster. Okay, all right. We shall see. I will look into it. Yeah, Sergio, so, as I'm sure you know, pretty hot topic, the bank shutdown, and my conclusion is that for me to finish everything prior to Gen 8, before the shutdown, I would have to quit my day job. I would have to stream every day, put in some serious hours, and even then, I'm not super convinced I would be able to do it. So the plan right now is just continue as I'm able, not really changing much, and when the time comes right before the shutdown, I'll transfer what I have, and then I will continue the challenge, getting everything up later with unofficial means, which I'm pretty convinced is possible. It's just going to be a headache, but it is possible. The only thing I have to transfer before the bank shutdown, I know I said this already for everyone else watching, but I must transfer the Spinda line, and I must transfer the Alolan Rattata line. Those are the only Pokemon that must be transferred before the bank shutdown. Everything else, there will be a way afterwards. But Rebel, I will look into this. I will check out one island here after this fight. What about Type Null and Poipole? I can transfer Type Null and Poipole after bank shutdown. They'll be possible. The only ones that will not be possible to transfer at all are Spinda and Alolan Rattata line. Everything else will be able to be transferred via alternative means. Same with Shiny Manaphy, same with Shiny Mew. Celebi too. Even Celebi on the Virtual Console will be possible, but with Poké-Transporter being a thing, that one I would prefer to go ahead and do before the shutdown. Good point, Caddy. Yes, I know you can heal at the hot springs. It sounds promising, so I'm going to give you a shot here. I'm going to give you a chance. I hope you don't let us down, Rebel. Congrats on the Type Null especially, Q. I know that one can be a headache. All right. Let's see what these guys are all about, huh? It's a promising start. Am I doing Joe? I was going to say Joen. I'm doing Hoenn because it's in Gen 3. So I'm going generation by generation. So technically a little bit out of chronological order. So the next, after Kanto, I'm going to do Hoenn. Then I'm going to do Johto with Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Then I'll move on to Sinnoh. And then we will move in the correct order after that. $150 resets, yeah, wow. And were you RNGing it, or were you just resetting for it? Because 150 resets just straight up, that's pretty crazy. Get all those other trainers too? Okay. I will give it a shot. You shiny hunted it through a distribution from a streamer? Okay. Okay, that's pretty good, Gucci. I'll give you that. I'll give it to you. Hello, Karen, or Karen. How's it going? Damn, that's crazy, Q, that you got it in 150, just resetting. That is bananas. Big Fire Red in 26. Yeah, we are on the verge of moving on from Fire Red completely once I get everything evolved. But it was definitely, for a majority of this year, Fire Red and Leaf Green have been very much at play. Yeah, it's solid. I'll give you that. Rebel, I'm not gonna validate you just yet, but it's panning out so far. This seems like it's working. Did I know I could play this in co-op? You can play certain things in co-op with Fire Red Leaf Green. Like if you're doing a versus battle with each other, you could do that, like a link battle. You can do the mini games as well. Oh. Have I just not battled you before? I guess this is the first time I'm battling them, maybe. Yeah, I think it's the first time. No matter. How many months have I been trapped in Kanto? I've been trapped since February. So it's been a while. Approximately 6 months. With I had to take some breaks here and there, so it's not like it was a continuous 6 months, but that's where we've been for a while. You get ridiculously low encounters, or you go triple odds. I've been in between before. I know that feeling though, to feel like it's you're just trapped in that loop. Yeah, if you want to get through the game quickly, the move is to just dump everything into your starter. Unless you're a Bulbasaur enjoyer. If you pick Bulbasaur, that's probably not going to be good enough. Not that you couldn't do it, but it would just be a lot more annoying. But yeah, Blastoise and Charizard, you can just train them up a ton and blaze through the game. Or shoot through the game, however you want to phrase it. I don't like the pathing here for the resets, unfortunately. That's fine. Oh, all 4 of them. That's crazy. Good point, Caddy. I never would have caught that in a million years. Totally oblivious. Hey, if I have nothing else, I have hustle, Sergio. I'm putting in the effort the best I can. Yeah, Bulbasaur sucks in most situations in Kanto, actually. Other than, like, the stall strategies, the Leech Seed and Sleep Powder, that's obviously, you know, like, pretty useful and will usually get you through just about anything. But it's slow and it's annoying. and it's much better to just Fire Blast. Oh, that's not one shot. I appreciate the I appreciate that, Gucci, but unfortunately it's probably going to be closer to maybe a 30% accuracy decrease, 30 to 40%, depending on the day. Yeah, isn't that so fun watching it miss sleep powder every time? It's my favorite thing to watch. I most certainly can heal my Pokemon in the spa. You're correct, Sergio. When Charizard runs out of PP, I will do that. Okay, Rebel, I will admit this does seem to be like the best place to EXP grind. I will admit it. You had a point. Keeps ignoring the final trainer. What do you mean? Where's the final trainer? Oh, you mean like, is it more up? I have to like... Okay. Hold on. I have to like wait for them to walk down here. Okay, that is crazy. I have to like summon the final trainer first and then do that. Oh, well, and she didn't even do anything. Maybe I haven't battled her yet either. Perhaps I will look into that too. All right, fine. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a go. Don't give me that, Gucci. I have a high tolerance for tedium, but not if I don't think it's necessary. Oh wait, hold on. Definitely want to do that. Did you evolve? They're getting higher level, aren't they? Every time I battle these guys, they're getting a little bit stronger. She's got 2 Primeape. Yeah. Another opportunity to battle would be nice. Alright, let's give this a go. Okay, now she's definitely in range. Oh, yeah, she, I haven't battled her for the first time, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think that's the trouble then, is I hadn't battled her to begin with, so that's why I wasn't getting anything. Zooey Mama moment. All right, I think they've peaked. This couple have reached their final form. Little demanding rebel. Could you at least throw a please in there? Yeah, now we're locked in. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we've locked in. They haven't even begun to peak. I don't know about that. I struggle to see where they could go from here. Oh, I got him frozen up in his little pose. I can steal the black belts off of fighting trainers? That's kind of crazy, actually. Is that true? That's nuts. Asking about a fan Discord. Yeah, I'm not totally against it. I just, you know, I don't have a lot of time outside of my streaming and my work and all that stuff to really manage things. I would probably need to delegate that to some other people. So yeah, I'll consider it. I don't think I'm going to be making anything like that anytime soon, especially with, you know, Discord is great and all, and I certainly use it and have used it in the past, but I don't know, I feel like it's getting sketchier by the day. You know, a lot of things they're doing are concerning to me in terms of privacy and data tracking, so I don't think, while I still think it's a safe thing to use and it's great for a lot of reasons, and I do still use it, but I just don't know. I'll think about it. No, I didn't get you. Wait, why is she frozen up there? Wait, what the hell? I clicked on her down here, didn't I? What is Discord doing? Well, there was a thing maybe about a year ago where they were. I honestly don't even remember the details anymore, but it was something about data collection, and I wasn't happy about it. Someone else may be able to speak to that. Damn it! You told me what? What did you tell me? I'm confused. Don't unload the NPCs. Wait, I have to unload the NPCs. Or, like, how do I not unload the top one? Okay, yeah. So in order to not unload her, what would I have to do? I'd have to make sure that I use the Versus Seeker when she's at her lowest point, and then I could stay within the range. But I feel like I already do that. Like, to battle these two down here, I have to come down this far. Does that not unload her? Because this double battle is very efficient. I like doing this one for sure. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's been good so far. Even without the other chick. All right, what I will do is I will go ahead and heal, and then we can see about getting everybody into the party. That is definitely faster than doing the Chansey dance, that's for sure. That's a little bit more of a trek, so maybe it all just works out in the end. All right, everybody's in view right now. And everybody's ready to battle, so I'm going to go battle her first. If she gets despawned, or if she gets too far out of frame when I battle the couple at the bottom, then that's just the way it is, so be it. Yes, CJ, that is true. I could do that. I would prefer to keep Charizard in front for all the other trainers, but yeah, I could probably make that switch. That make a lot of sense. I'm not sure if Surf does kill, though. Yeah, with the damage reduction, it's hard to say. Oh, it's 50%? Yeah, no way then. My Blastoise is tough, but it's not that tough. Smoke Screen plus Surf. Don't know if that would really be worth it. Yeah, Rhyhorn is pretty slow. And it's weak to fighting, so there's a good chance it would be taken out. Seems like a bunch of effort, extra effort for not very much reward. I do have some rare candies. I will be using probably all of the rare candies on the last evolutionary line that I need, which is going to be the Dragonite. And that's also the one that needs to be the highest level. So, makes sense to me to go ahead and save those. Also, damn, I did not KO that. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, I'll just do that. And do that. Okay. So that's... I didn't go any lower, and look. She's up there again. So, like, what do you want me to do about that? I basically have to pick between the double battle couple and this chick. Oh, no trainers. Damn. Yeah, Blastoise leaves a little to be desired. Don't leave her behind. I mean, I don't know. Kind of got priorities right now. I don't want to dilly-dally too much with this evolution thing, especially with the stakes of bank closing. I want to get everything transferred as much as I can. Feeling ungrateful about your shiny Phoebus from Go. Well, I understand having mixed feelings about Pokemon Go related shinies anyway. I get you. That is something, you know, the goal. Oh wait, you survived. Why the hell why am I suddenly doing less damage? Are they're getting stronger? I thought I was KOing these Pokemon. Have I considered Lucky Egg? Sure, I considered it all I want, but think about the time investment required to get Lucky Egg. I would either need to just blindly catch a bunch of Chansey and hope that has it, or execute a Lucky Egg RNG with a Chansey, both of which would take a serious amount of time and energy. It'd be faster to do it with Pokemon themselves. I don't know about that, Sergio. I don't think that's true. Considering the limited move pool and the healing required and all of that, I actually don't think that's the case. Lucky Egg would require switch training. Would it, though? If my Pokemon in the front of my party with Lucky Egg and the Pokemon with EXP share, if that's the setup, I don't know. Like, I understand that I'm not getting as much experience per battle, but the battles are going very quickly this way. That's the point. So I don't think you can match the speed, the efficiency here, with just Rhyhorn battling random wild Pokemon. Because, like, true, yeah, like, Rhyhorn would have a great matchup into, like, the bird trainers, but, I mean, it doesn't really have very many good rock moves, and most of the rock moves aren't even 100% accurate. So you take that into account, that there's limited selection with limited PP and not 100% accuracy. Like, I just don't think that's going to be faster than this. You can try to prove me wrong, but... Oh, Lucky Egg does not factor in with EXP share. Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not convinced. I think this is still faster. I know that with Lucky Egg and the Rhyhorn facing its own Pokemon, that would be faster, absolutely. It's just getting the Lucky Egg is a pretty big time investment by itself anyway. So yeah, I will I will agree that with Lucky Egg in the equation, yes, it would be faster for Rhyhorn itself to be battling. But without it, this is, in my view, the best way to go about it. So yeah, because getting the Lucky Egg itself is a pretty big time commitment, it's debatable. It's hard to say which would be faster in the long run. And again, I think that if the Pokemon themselves that I'm leveling up, if they're the ones doing the battling, there's going to be a level of inconsistency there, mainly with the move pool. And also there's accuracy issues, especially with Rhyhorn's moveset, with the rock moves. I just think this is better in the long run, in terms of efficiency. Yeah, 15 chances, that just doesn't sound worth it to me, because, what, 15 chances that you caught, right? So not only was it 15 chances, it was 15 chances that you caught. So you probably saw way more than 15. Good morning, Awkward. Good to see you. Yeah, I just think if you have pretty high-level Pokemon that can take out trainers' Pokemon efficiently, that's the way to go, if you want it done fast. How many Evos are left? Let's take a gander here just for a moment. So I have this Rhydon that I'm finishing up. After that, there is Jinx at level 30. There is the two fossils at level 40. And then the Dragonair and Dragonite. And I will use all the rare candies to finish the Dragonite evolution. So we're fairly close. I don't currently have a complete file of XD, actually. I've beaten it before once, but that save file is... it's gone. It's in the ether. So no, I can't use that to get Lucky Egg, unfortunately. Also, you're surviving these moves for some reason. I don't know why you're doing that. The trumpet's coming out soon. Don't you worry. Now, just to be clear, those are all the evolutions I have to do with EXP. For the shiny side, there's also the normal ones too. So I will probably, I'll probably put in some extra time level grinding off stream to finish things up, because we do need to get a move on. So that's probably going to be prioritized here in the next week or so. Yeah, Sergio, we talked about the pickup thing, but it's probably not very worth it. The return is just not great, especially for rare candies. Yes, awkward. The bank situation has been discussed, and if you want it straight from the horse's mouth, I'm not super concerned about it. Would it be ideal to transfer everything up officially via bank? Yes. But is that necessary for the vast majority of Pokemon? Probably not. It's actually probably not necessary. I can still get things up into home via other methods, with the exception of the Spindas and the Alolan Rattatas. Those are the only Pokemon that must be transferred through bank prior to its closure. Otherwise, everything else has a way. There's a way to get it up there. It's 10% for every Meowth in battle, but that's 10% for an item, not 10% for a rare candy. And I'd have to dedicate a significant amount of my party members, which means I'd have to go back and forth between this spot and the PC, which requires some travel, so... I don't know. I know what you're saying, Sergio. I know. Maybe when I finish this Rhyhorn, I will consider it. Yeah, I'll think about it. Oh yeah, my party will definitely be filled with Zigzagoons when we're in Hoenn. For sure. Oh, just one more. Bunch of goons. Oh, it's 5%? Yeah. With the 5% chance of an item and a smaller percent chance of a rare candy, I just don't know about it. I don't know if it's worth dedicating a few party slots for that. But yeah, RS is amazing and Emerald is still pretty decent. Okay. Oh, it's a cumulative 10% chance after every battle. Interesting. That tan woman. Alright, so that was the highest level I need to get any Pokemon other than Dragonite. And again, Dragonite's going to have assistance of rare candies. So that's good. Smoochum, we only need to get to level 30, so that should be a lot faster. And you all will be pleased to know that we will include our battle woman up here for this first round. Let's see if we get her. Oh, we do. She is a crush girl. Excuse me. Whatever that means. Which one is Sharon? Is that Sharon? Crush Girl Sharon? Could not tell you. Not been paying attention. A Hex Girl that punches you. Okay, now we're talking. Hex Girl enters the conversation. My interest is piqued. For those who are familiar with the banger from the direct to VHS, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, a lot of positives that came from that movie. Hex Girls were one of them. Now the Hex Maniacs, I don't know what's going on with them. I think there's a different appeal there that I'm not necessarily picking up on as much, but if that's your thing, go for it. I guess it depends, Gucci, but you could definitely interpret it that way. I suppose it does get old over time. Them getting continuously beat down. But who am I to deny them a continuous beating? They seem to be into it. True. Very refined taste. You think it's mutually beneficial? I don't know if we're all getting anything out of this. I mean, they have reached their final forms with their teams. Their teams have gotten the strongest they can be, so I've done that for them. How they got strong necessarily is a mystery to me, but... yeah, it's all about good taste. Doesn't matter what you do at all, right? I'm using all of the Hoenn games because I need Ruby for Zangoose and I need Sapphire for Lunatone. I won't be playing through the entire main story of Ruby or Sapphire, just up to the points where I need those version exclusives so I can catch them, which is around the same point anyway. Meteor Falls and that route before Meteor Falls is where both version exclusives are. But yeah, so one half playthrough of Ruby and Sapphire, and then 8 playthroughs of Emerald minimum. 10 if we're including Mew in Japanese Emerald for regular and shiny. That's the dream combo right there. Ruby, my very first game I fully completed in Pokemon, and Emerald, the pinnacle. It's really unfortunate that I lost my original Ruby version, but we kept up with my brother's Sapphire. So that's the one I still have, and then I had to rebuy Ruby, another copy. Not so fast, Rebel. No, we don't need to do any Ace in Emerald. I just need to recreate the mystery map event, or the Old Sea map event, and get the encounter that way. Which I can do without Ace, and without much tinkering. It's basically just simulating Mystery Gift. Great. Meditite, Roselia, and Surskit. Yeah, Surskit is obtainable in Emerald, but it's tricky because you need the, what's it called? The swarms. And, is Roselia exclusive to Ruby or Sapphire? I know Meditite might be in, well, I actually don't know, but, you might be right about all that. Yeah, there's a lot of ways of getting the events on there. I just so happen to have my Wii set up for event injection for Gen 3. So that's what I'm going to use. Exactly, Caddy. I had the foresight in 2005 to go to Japan and get the event on my Japanese copy of the game, with the knowledge that it would eventually be utilized for this challenge. Exactly. It's a mixing record situation. Okay. Well, either way, Surskit's available in the early routes in Ruby Sapphire, so I can grab it there too. Roselia, didn't realize that was a version exclusive, but that is also something I can grab when grabbing Lunatona and Zangoose. Meditite, I'm not so sure. I think I'll have to, excuse me. I know you can get Medicham in Victory Road, but that would require me to basically beat most of the game. So it might be worth it to avoid some level grinding, I don't know. Yeah, Rebel, to be clear, I'm not an ace hater, you know. I'm just, for the purposes of this challenge, I'm trying to avoid using, like, game-breaking glitches. And while, yes, you would achieve the same thing by injecting the event item or creating the event item via ace, you get the same result. But for me, it's just a little bit different. The execution matters just a little bit. Exactly, Rebel. We've all been there. You ever just get the itch to go to Japan in 2005? To get that, that event distribution? Very relatable. You're attempting Mew as we speak? Well, good luck. Yeah, hopefully, through my many playthroughs of Emerald, I will be a little bit more efficient. One of the problems is I do want to get my starters covered for those playthroughs. So it's not going to be... I won't just be able to pick Swampert every time for each playthrough, so that's going to slow things down a little bit. Can I share? Oh, sure, yeah. You know, not only did I have the foresight to go to Japan in 2005 and download the event on my cartridge, but I also had the foresight to buy multiple copies of Japanese Emerald and get multiple event distribution. So I'll definitely I'll contact you in terms of getting you a copy. Okay, this is ridiculous. Primeape. This is just unacceptable. There's plenty to go around. Plenty. I mean, that's one of the most practical uses for AI, I would say, is for optimizing code and creating code, especially for people that aren't super into that or familiar, like myself. So yeah, I am also not a fan of AI, but if we're talking about legitimate use cases, that would be one of them in my view. Using chatbots all day and search bots, not so much. Ayo. We got Jinx. Wow. It's so desaturated. Oh, don't want that. Yeah, Rebel, that sounds really cool. I did not know that, but that sounds that sounds pretty awesome. Oh, Nicki Minaj. Oh, man. Hello, gorgeous, once again. Past tiger, yes. Omnite's leveling up pretty quickly, actually. Faster than I would have expected. I wonder if it's in the fast EXP group. That would be nice. No spoilers? Okay, sure. I will save you from spoiling anything, the suspense of it all. Not that what we're doing here is in any way predictable. Medium fast, that's good enough for me. Yeah. We will definitely take advantage of that. Do not shortchange this riveting content. I'm glad that you find it riveting. Very happy for you. Now, Rivel, that is maybe the exception, as especially with the time constraints, I'm certainly not completely opposed to cloning some rare candies and speeding up the evolution process for Hoenn. Definitely not against that. Alrighty, that's whatever. Blastoise, get your head in the game, please. It's time we healed up. Oh, damn it. There we go. Oh, nice. Getting a modded Switch. Good for you. Major key these days for a lot of reasons, but yeah, that especially. Oh yeah, good luck with that Zeraora. Home events are a lot harder to get your hands on. Oh yeah, I got plenty of mons I can steamroll Hoenn with. You know, my modest 31 special attack Mewtwo might have something to say about that when we get there. Yeah, the type matchup, you know, Rebel, I will give Rebel credit here. This is turning out to be much more ideal than the previous grinding spot, because there's a uniform level advantage, and while each trainer doesn't have as many Pokemon, I still think it seems to be going a lot faster, so thanks again, Rebel, for recommending this spot. Yeah, you can never trust online trades fully, the legitimacy. Even if you go through the proper channels, there's just no way of confirming authenticity, so you have to take people's word. Yeah, that one Slowbro encounter was really messing things up for me. From what you've heard, Gomons can't be hacked. So that is an interesting topic for sure. I will say it's very difficult to hack Gomons, but it is possible. It is at least possible to hack in a Pokemon that appears as if it was from Go, when it actually is not. But for the most part, if you want like the highest amount of security for a traded Pokemon, then a Pokemon in home with the home stamp or the Go stamp is the gold standard. That is the most likely legitimate Pokemon you can have, but it is not 100% guarantee. Yeah, that sucks, Brendan, that they dropped the levels for seemingly no reason. Especially if you think about the stage of the game that you're in, like, level 30 makes a lot more sense than level 5. Like, if you wanted to use a fossil Pokemon in your party, well, you're already at the fire gym. That's like, what, the 5th or 6th gym badge, depending? And then, it's a level 5 Pokemon. The rest of your party is probably in the 30s or maybe in 40s. So what's the point of picking it up? Unless you just want to go out of your way. But it's usually not worth it. Yeah, all the moves that I reject along the way. Simply no time, children. We got more important things to do. Right, yeah, I've never used fossils in a casual playthrough. Well, that's actually not true. I think I used Shieldon in a playthrough of Diamond once. Or no, wait. Shieldon would have been Cranidos. I used a fossil one time that I can think of. But otherwise, yeah. it's almost never worth it because you have to go out of your way to train them up with the rest of your team. You can't get them at the level you're typically going to be. Oh, that's funny, Brenda. I also don't know the etymology of beeline. Like, what is the proper phrasing? I don't know. But yeah, you basically have to skip all the gyms you can skip, get Surf, go down to Cinnabar, and even then, it's still going to be lower level than everything else. Oh yeah, Caracosta is definitely worth using. It's a solid mon in Unova. I like Aurorus in terms of its design. I don't know if it's very good to use. Yeah, Ice and Rock. I mean, Ice anything really struggles, but Ice and Rock especially. You're going to have to be a really good Pokemon to overcome that type combo. Sure, yeah, there is an abundance of grass types. That kind of makes the fossils counterintuitive. Also, the fact that they're both the same type, you don't get any variety. That's a downside as well. Oh, interesting, CJ. That's very cool. So we get that from the fact that bees will go somewhere and then come right back. That's pretty cool. I mean, that makes sense. Sheesh. Last choice, you're letting me down, man. That does sound like the sweet life, doesn't it? Other than you just being a peon in a colony of thousands of bees. Just the simple life. Your one life's purpose. Go to the flowers, chomp down on some nectar, some pollen, and come back. The simple life. Thanks, Caddy. Good luck on those errands. I'm probably not going to go on for too much longer. I'll wait until we evolve Almanite. And then what will likely happen is, so that we can really get the show on the road and get on to the next phase, I will probably do a lot of level grinding off stream, since that is not particularly important to highlight on the streams, so you would flirt with a human woman? Hey, you know, that's your thing. We could all learn a thing or two from Barry B. Benson. Fair point, Hallier. I, too, would probably remain a bee. Alright, come on, Blastoise. You can do it. There you go. You know, I'm probably making a decent amount of money doing this. Not that it matters a lot. I can probably afford most everything else I need to buy. That being the evolutionary stones and such. I think that's about it. Almost there. 2 more levels. Congrats. That's a fun RNG to do. Were you going for anything in particular or just a shiny? Ah, damn it. Well, congrats. That's always a good feeling. I remember when I first did that RNG, it was tricky to run into Mew properly. Because it kind of meanders, you have to take a certain path. One shiny in 20,000 frames? That's, yeah, that's pretty scarce. So it sounds like you did not use the painting, but used battle videos to kind of get there eventually. Which is a sensible strategy. Turn back Giratina, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Giratina Origin's nice and all, but it's incarnate form, I think is what it's called. That one just has a certain aura about it, you know what I mean? Oh. We did it. Not necessarily. So with Emerald, you can't soft reset hunts because the seed resets every time. So instead, you would need to run away from the encounter and then come back to make sure that you're not just hitting the same range of spreads every time. So it's tricky, but you could certainly do it. Without RNG, that is. What a beautiful Helix. You know what? You want to learn Spike Cannon? I'll let you learn Spike Cannon. Why not? Go for it, little buddy. Giratina Altered. Okay, that's the correct term. Thank you. All right, that's all that needs to be evolved in my party right now. So let's check back in. I know I have less than a full party left to evolve. Yes, praise Helix. Lord Helix has blessed us. Okay, so then now the only thing we have left to level up is this Kabuto and these two Dratini, which are not at level 5, which is good, but I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. And, you know, just so I have it just in case, a Meowth with pickup. In case we want to make use of that. For the slim chance of extra rare candies, it might actually be a good time save. But with that being said, I'm going to call it for today. You know, again, I think considering everything, I probably want to get these levels done and over with, and it's not super important that you all see the entire process. So what I'll probably do is I'll go ahead and grind off stream, get these guys leveled up, get them evolved, and we can shortly after move on to Hoenn finally, and see what we can see about that. I know for sure, well, not for sure, but I'm pretty confident that we can finish all of Hoenn and probably Heart Gold and Soul Silver before Bank shuts down. I'm pretty confident in that. But I guess we'll see. You know, Hoenn has a few considerations that I need to navigate. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by. And I'll try to catch you very soon. If not in a week, maybe a little bit earlier, but no guarantees. So